are now listening to.
You're now listening to.
You are now listening to the Breaking Dads podcast. Enjoy.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Breaking Dad podcast. I am your host. My name is Woody, and this is episode 2 of the Breaking Dad podcast. All right, we had a successful week 1. I want to thank everybody who listened, everybody who subscribed, and everybody who gave feedback to the Breaking Dad podcast. If you got back to me on Twitter, you got back to me on Facebook page, the Breaking Dad podcast on Facebook, or you just went ahead and text me if you got my number. I want to thank you all for listening, each and every one of y'all. I want to thank everybody who watched on YouTube, who hit that subscribe button. That's important as well. For those of you that don't have Apple products, I don't know who y'all are, but there are some of y'all that don't have Apple products. So I also make it available on YouTube for y'all to listen. Google Play is being a little difficult with me, but working that out as well as the actual live video. Well, not live, but the video of me recording the podcast. I don't have that visual up still. Me and YouTube are butting heads a little bit, but I'm going to get it together for y'all. But let's go ahead and let's start the show. All right, first things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. For real. But no, honestly, on a serious note, it's rest in peace to my grandmother, Aranya Charles. This week I got the very sad news that my grandmother passed away. I hate to start the show off on a somber note, but it's important. She was important. 92 years old. Well, sorry, 91 years old. That's an amazing blessing on its own. She passed away in her native country of Haiti, surrounded by family. So that is the positive there, that she was back home on her island that she loved so much. She's leaving behind 6, 7 children and countless grandchildren and a lot of great grandchildren as well. So she had a big family, and everyone, literally every single person that met her loves her. From our neighbors growing up to the doctors, that when she went to the doctors, any place that we went, anybody that got any kind of contact with her just got that great positive vibe. She was always a happy person, always had that $1 million grin on her face, laughing, joking, even, through language barriers where she may not have understood exactly what you were saying, but once it was translated to her, or even when it wasn't translated to her, sometimes she just had just the most amazing, big, positive, happy smile on her face. So that's one thing that she always taught me, was to, no matter what, just always smile through it. There's some beauty in every ugly. So I just want to say rest in peace to my grandmother. Love her to death. This hurts so bad, man. I don't wish this pain on my worst enemy, but this is a part of life, having to get through this and go through this. So I'm gonna get through it, and I want to give a big thank you to everybody who reached out to me on social media, those who texted me, those who called me and checked up on me, and those that gave me a little bit of space at first, and it's much needed. I'm still not processing. It helped me process. I'm still not all the way through it, nowhere near it, but I'm off to a good start. I can say that, and I just want to give a big thank you out to everybody that went ahead and just showed me love, showed my grandma love. I thank y'all so much from the bottom of my heart. So this takes me into the first topic of the podcast. I'm gonna try and bring the energy back up. Is grandparents. This, for me, is something that I dealt with a little bit. Me and the maternal grandmother of my children, as I am the fraternal one. We've had a rocky relationship, I want to say, to start, but it's gotten so much better as the time's gone by. At first, it was good, and then once it came down, like maybe a couple months after the girls were born, we started to butt heads a little bit. I'm Papa Bear, that's Grandma Bear, both trying to not decide, but, it's that balance between, and this is a dynamic that I feel like all parents have with either their own parents or the other party's parents, and especially for us dads, grandma, the mom's grandma, grandma knows best. She raised, the person you've had a child with. So, you want to respect that. But then on the other side, there's still a lot more that they don't know, because the world has changed and everything since the last time they raised kids. But raising kids is raising kids at the end of the day. Other things might come in and make things a little bit harder, but it is just raising kids. So it's hard to do that balance. You want to respect their knowledge, but you also want to raise your children your own way. Grandparents normally want to spoil the kids. Not everybody wants to have a spoiled little brat. I know some people who just seem to be hell bent on having a spoiled little brat, but most of us really don't. So it's really hard. It was really hard for us at first, but we've got it together. We've got a great working relationship. Well, not working, but I can't even call it cool parenting either. But she respects me as their father. I respect her as their grandmother, and no relationship is perfect. Everything has its ups and downs, but we're getting through it, and it's honestly gotten a lot better. And so I will always stress for the fathers to make sure that you got a strong bond with those people. Even, I know there's complications. I know sometimes they might have said something slick and this, that, and the fifth. I mean, at the end of the day, it's always about the kids. I mean, that's just like the number one thing, is it's always about the kids. And what's best for them is to have their grandparents in their lives. If I didn't have my grandmother in my life, I don't know who I would be, how I would be. I don't think I would know. I wouldn't be fluent in my, native language of Creole. I wouldn't know my history. I wouldn't know a lot of the lessons she's taught me. And a lot of the time she was just there just to be there, just when you need somebody to talk to. Grandparents are normally there for you. So I would always say to go ahead and, let those children have that relationship. If you had problems with that person, if they're a messed up individual or whatever it might be, sometimes that just may be your child's lesson to learn on their own. Let them come to the conclusion on their own. If grandma really is that bad of a person, let them find out on their own. I know we want to shield and protect our kids from everything. It's just in my opinion. Once again, we already know the Breaking Dad podcast. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not telling y'all what to do. The last thing I'll ever do is try to tell a parent how to raise their child. Just giving you my own opinion. That's all. But I just think that you should just let the child find out on their own. It's the same thing. It goes with, if you got, for us dads, you got a mom that's kind of not, got everything together. You let the child figure that out on their own when they're old enough. You want to shield them from pain. You want to shield them from everything, but you cannot. No one's immune to the trials and tribulations of life, period. Nobody. So you want to protect them from the stuff you can protect them from? Yes, absolutely, 100%. But you also want to be able to go ahead and let them fall and scrape their knee. As a parent, you're there to, pick them up, put some ointment on the boo-boo and slap a Band-Aid on there, I think we got a visitor already. Not even 10 minutes in. Yes, baby. You went pee-pee in the potty? All right, we're going to take our first break of the podcast. Hold on. Callie went to the restroom. I'll be right back. All right, and we're back now. That was my oldest, Callie. She wanted to come over and let me know that she went to the bathroom on her own. So that's a quick call back to last episode when I was discussing potty training. For a quick little update, it's going well. The girls are getting it. Callie a little bit more than Amaya still. But Cal is going. She's going on her own. I don't need to ask her anymore. She's coming over on her own. Yes, baby. I'm over here. Daddy's doing his podcast. You pee-peed again? You gotta be kidding me. I'll be right back. All right, and I'm back now. As I was saying, Callie is getting it, and as you can see, she can go on her own, and then she'll run over to me and tell me, "Hey, Daddy, I did it." Well, it sounds like TT, but she's saying pee-pee. Cal just talks like that, but she'll come over, tell me she went, and go over there, and I'll sing the pee-pee in the potty song, and she loves it. They both love it, honestly, and they like to get praised, so they have a ball with it. So if that's just one thing, if you ever meet my children, just know they love to get praised. So if you want to tell them they're pretty, they're beautiful, anything positive, they'll soak it all up. They live for it. They really do. So once again, anybody who has anything they want to add, anything they want to talk about on the podcast, go ahead, hit me up, the Breaking Dads PC. Also, that's on the Facebook page, and then on Twitter, you can hit me up at the Breaking Dads PC on Twitter. I had some people last week slide into DMs, even some people right on the wall on Facebook. I hope anyone that read them, saw them, appreciated the feedback as well as I did. Hopefully it helps somebody, because that's what it's all about. So if you want to talk about anything, let me know. I'll definitely get some subjects into it. I'm about to get into one right now. Also, sliding into DMs or anything like that. So to move on, this is something that someone hit me up and actually wanted me to talk about. They wanted me to revisit this beef that's dominating hip hop right now, Drake and Pusha T. We had Pusha T drop the story of Adidon, and to me, the biggest part that came out of it was Pusha's accusations of Drake having a child. This is, for some of us that knew, this isn't anything new. We knew that around last year, the woman had made accusations of saying that she was pregnant and Drake was the father. So Drake, Pusha's accusations that Drake was hiding his child. Now, that's the rough part for me. As I continued to listen to all three records over and over again, I really felt like I really stopped listening stopped just listening to it as a hip hop head, and really just listened to it for what it was. And the question that comes out of it is does Drake owe us to tell us that he's a father? Like, I don't think he does. I feel like, yes, if he had his child, yes, she came out in the public. Yes, he is a public figure. Let's not get that wrong, especially in, nowadays, as part of being a celebrity, is everyone wants to be in your business. But it's also his own prerogative not to have to tell us every single thing. He doesn't have to tell us all of his business. I know there's certain celebrities, we don't see their kids like that. We know that you see at first Jay-Z and Beyonce. Blue Ivy was everywhere. But the twins, not so much. You don't see them everywhere all over. I think they just had their first show of their On the Run 2 show, and they gave updated pictures of the twins. Like, unless you follow the paparazzi around, I don't think you really see them like that. So to bring it back to Drake, I just don't feel like he owed us that. And who knows what's going on? Who knows? To my knowledge, she lives back in France. So who knows how that, the court system is down there dealing with paternity tests or anything like that. Because he's a famous and very rich guy. So, things hopefully did go through not hopefully, but, possibly did go through the courts. So who knows what the court system is out there? On top of the fact that I believe Drake's a Canadian citizen still. So it's not even just dealing with America and France. You might have to deal with Canada and France, and who knows what their relationships like that is like that. If you think about the math might be the kid that I want to say, if the child was born in October, like they're saying, that means the baby as of right now is 7 months old. Double check my math. If 8, who knows when the actual day the baby was born. But so I know that things in the court system move slow sometimes. So it could be a couple months before you even take a test. It could be, a couple months before paperwork gets filed and everything gets not filed, but for their day is up and he has to take the test. So they say he's been providing for the child. Who knows how long it's been? And then let's say if he does want to announce that he has a child, he might want to do it in a nice way. He has this deal with Adidas coming up. You knew he was previously with Jordan, had the OVO colorways of the Jordan sneakers come out, but now he has a fashion line. So he decided, this is how I want to present my son. I want to give him, something named after him. If that's truly the case, because that's a whole nother thing we don't know. I mean, I don't really see that. If anything, I feel like he might have just took the wind out of his sails as far as the announcement, but I don't think that's really a shame on you. Drake should feel the embarrassment of, he got beat because Pusha, blew up his spot about his kid. We don't know, and I feel like as hip hop fans and as music fans, I know it's entertainment, but you got to also, and just because you say something about somebody, it's about the disrespect behind it. But it also has to make sense. You know what I'm saying? It also has to, like, I'm coming across as the biggest Drake stan I know, but this is what they wanted me to talk about. So this is what I'm going to talk about. And that's just how I view it. I just view it as, it's like, when you think of it from like a grown man perspective, like, no, like, that's not really, you didn't really diss me by saying that, you know, I didn't tell the world about my kid. I don't have to. He gives so much, especially in his music, he gives up so much of his personal business that I think he's entitled to keep some things to himself. And, you know, especially behind the messiness of where it all started, you know, he might have wanted to take this a different route. So I think Drake's entitled to that. It feels like it took a little bit off that punch. It still was a punch, don't get me wrong, but I think it took some off of it. But on to the new development that we got into this whole situation. There is apparently a secret diss record, or a already recorded reply to the story of Adidon we'll just never hear. Jay Prince, I'm not going to get into who he is. Do your Googles. Jay Prince as well as Kanye have both commented and said that the beef is over. But Jay Prince came out and also said that there is a reply that is just so disrespectful and would, you know, destroy Kanye. You know, don't quote me, but along those lines. So disrespectful that he just, you know, basically put a nix to it. Told Drake, don't put it out. That's allegedly. We don't know if there really is that record. Just like we don't know with a lot of these things. And this is hip hop, man. We've kind of had certain situations like this happen before where someone steps in to squash it. But I just feel like if it's done, just let it be done. There's no more need for the sneak disses. No need for, you know, on Scorpion for Drake to drop a couple bars on Pusha. No, if it's over and they say it's over and you're going with what your OG says, then just let it be over. Let's let the beef. We had it. Got 3 records out of it, 3 good disses out of it. Let's just drop it there. We also had Diddy actually talk about how he felt after after Hit 'Em Up came out. He said that they would actually snatch DJs turntables from them if they played it at a party that Diddy was at. That he explained how hard it hit him, a record like that. So and Hit 'Em Up, to me, I feel like is up there in the pantheon of the great diss songs. So that was a very interesting. I don't remember who it was with. I want to say maybe Sway in the Morning that Diddy had that conversation about. Hit 'Em Up with. I encourage you to go ahead and listen to it. But from now on, but the latest update on this whole situation is that apparently the beef is dead. Jay Prince and Kanye have gone ahead and nixed it and said it's over, and the beef is squashed. But who knows? This is the words of Jay Prince and Kanye. Who knows if they listen? Who knows if Pusha T even listens to Kanye like that? Who knows? But speaking of listening to Kanye, apparently the whole world forgot about their disdain for Kanye, and like we all figured, went running back to him once he dropped some music. We know about Kanye West's. I promised myself I wouldn't really talk about Kanye. I wasn't gonna give him any more energy, but it's a big story, something that people want to talk about. So like I said, once again, I'm a man of the people. You guys want to talk about it? We'll talk about it here. We know about Kanye's controversial comments about slavery and, you know, this whole free thinking thing that he's going on. His comments on the president of the United States, and you know, tweeting out the picture of him in the Make America Great Again hat and all those things. He dropped his album. Believe it's called Ye. When all that happened, dropped it. I said, you know what? Nope, I'm done. And for those of you that know me, and for those of you who don't know me, huge Kanye West fan since I first heard Through the Wire over at Smitty's house. He had the single CD. It was a CD and it had the single on it. So it had the instrumental of Through the Wire, had Through the Wire Clean, Through the Wire Dirty, and I think maybe like the unmastered version where it was him when super muffled when he was rapping through the wire, like when he was talking like that, rapping like that on the song. So from that first song, we played that. We almost melted that CD. That's how many times we played that record over and over again. So from then on, I've been a huge fan of Kanye West. Me and Smith, matter of fact, one year his parents gave him tickets to the Glow in the Dark concert on the Glow in the Dark tour. It was Madison Square Garden. I don't remember our age, but they gave us tickets. They didn't even go with us. So we had to, this is going to date myself a little bit, but we had to map quest the directions, which train to take. We got on that train, went to Madison Square Garden. And man, that was, to this day, the best concert that I went to. Lil Wayne was a close second. It was Lil Wayne, Ross, Lloyd, and Carrie Hilson. I think the I Am Still Music tour, that one was a really good one. I just went to the Wale concert, the Shine tour. I really enjoyed that one. But let me get back on track, sorry. The Glow in the Dark tour. So since then, I've been a huge Kanye fan. Loved all his albums up until Yeezus. Pablo I did enjoy as well still. 808s and Heartbreak got me through a rough time. My Beautiful Dark Twisted, amazing. We all know. But this last project, after everything he did, this last project, I sat it out. I still haven't listened to. I think Mason may have, my boy Mason, shout out to Mason, maybe he made me, as he dropped me off at the airport last time I was in Jersey, held my arm and was playing the beginnings of some song. So I've heard at least a beat or two, but I haven't listened to a single bar out of Kanye West since all that. I washed my hands of the situation. So I say all that to say this, as consumers, we have the power. These artists don't have the power. If you truly felt the way about it and about what he said and the way he was behaving, you shouldn't have went back and listened to the album. In my opinion, I just feel like, yes, the curiosity is there, but if you truly wanted or felt the way about it and you wanted it to be known, you shouldn't have listened. I mean, it's just music at the end of the day. Yes, I love music, and then I love Kanye West music too, but you got to stand for something. And I stood up for this. I said enough is enough. You're not going to be able to be as influential as he was and speak out of context and speak, context is still important. You could be a free thinker, free speech, everything, but you still got to have context. And when you have influence, the Spider-Man quote, with great power comes great responsibility. You wanted to be, and you are that huge influential person that you are as being Kanye West. Then you had to take care of that responsibility of, speaking carefully. Not saying that you can't be a Republican, you can't, like Trump and everything. But if you're going to like Trump, say why you like Trump. Don't just let it be an open-ended statement. Don't just let it be, oh yeah, I like Trump. And then not explain to people that, especially young, impressionable people, that, hey, I like Trump because, like me, he's an insider in a industry that, politics isn't really industry. Maybe some people feel it is, but he's an infiltrator. He's an outsider just like me. And, just like with Kanye with fashion, he's an infiltrator like me that made it to the top, doing it his way. That's why I like Trump. Nobody would have a problem with that. But you just saying, yeah, I like Trump, throwing on, doubling down when you got backlash for it by throwing on a Make America Great Again hat. Like, come on, man. You're Kanye. You're George Bush doesn't care about black people. Like, that's just who you are. You have to live by your words. Do you have to stand by the old you? Sometimes you do. Sorry. Are you allowed to evolve? Yeah, absolutely. But you still have to live up to the person that you were. Or if you evolve, fine, evolve, but you still have to answer those questions. It can't just go unanswered. You got to say, hey, I've evolved. I've changed my mind. I feel like, hey, maybe George Bush did care about black people. Maybe I was a little too sensitive. Whatever it might be. But I'm sorry, I got off on a little tangent right there. I just feel like for all those rappers and all those people who said, they were done with Kanye, calling him Kanye, all this fake outrage, essentially. For those of you that went up to Wyoming for that listening party, looking like complete fools, running up to Wyoming to go listen to some rap music. Me personally, I'm just shaking my head at you guys. But I just want people to remember the whole point of this is there's the power in being the consumer. You hold the power. These artists don't dictate to you, you dictate to them. So if you stick to your guns, man. Just stick to your guns. It's just an album. It's just an album. But speaking of albums, we actually do want to hear about here. Apparently, Lil Wayne has finally won the lawsuit that he put up against Birdman and the record label Cash Money Records. They're saying that it's a reported. He sued, and he was supposed to get his advance, an $8 million advance to make the Carter 6, or is the Carter 5? Carter 5, sorry. The Carter 5. That's how long we've been waiting for it. Yes, for the Carter 5. And not only did they did the judge award him the $8 million, but I believe they said that he got awarded over $10 million. So, and matter of fact, no, Universal is going to put out the album, and they gave them an advance of over $10 million to get the project done in belief that they're going to recoup their money. Now, a little bit of a conspiracy theory. I'm feel inclined to believe that it's one of those things where your mind just works very weirdly, and I'm inclined to believe that halfway through this, hey, I'm gonna stick to this. They've reportedly pieced things up, but after you invest so much money in a lawsuit, I guess that you do have to see it all the way through. But this was great publicity and great buzz behind this album. So now when Lil Wayne goes and records the album and then announces that the Carter 5 is on his way, I feel like there's going to be a lot more buzz behind it, a lot more not praise, but a lot more excitement behind the Carter 5 as opposed to when he was first going to drop it. I think he had just had a subpar outing. There wasn't too many records of his coming out. I think he had tried the few records. He had the grinding song with Drake, Believe Me with Drake, and then they went on that tour, Drake versus Lil Wayne. And around that time was when he was going to drop the Carter 5, and neither one of those records caught like they could have. I felt like they were good records. No, they're still on rotation for me. I like both those songs, but I think they didn't catch on the way they wanted it to catch on, and that's what kind of like started this whole drama with the label as far as not wanting to put out the album after promising the advance of the $8 million to make the album. So congratulations to Lil Wayne getting that $10 million. It's a whole lot of money. I'll take one. No problem. Hey, look, I got my soundboard. Let's go ahead. Shout out to Lil Wayne, man. Yeah, my soundboard's here, so I'm gonna sprinkle that in the podcast as we keep moving forward where I see fit. I got a couple of pretty funny, not funny ones, but a lot of ones I like to use. I got over here. I got the air horn. Got that. What else we got on here? Oh, it's one of my personal favorites.
Where is Ja? Have me Ja Rule.
Sometimes you need to know where is Ja, which is funny is going back to that, Drake and Pusha T thing. Ja Rule was very vocal on this beef because, we need Ja Rule. Help me, Ja Rule. But moving forward, anyway, shout out to Lil Wayne winning a lawsuit. That was big. And it's a big win for hip-hop. So, like I said, it's a great time for hip-hop right now. I'm enjoying what's going on. And it looks like it's going to be a really big summer. We're waiting on Scorpion to drop next in June. Well, I think Kanye and Kid Cudi's album is dropping next. But then we have a Scorpion coming as well. I think Nicki's going to be at the end of the summer. Nicki Minaj's album is coming out at the end of the summer. And there's some other people, I just can't think of it right now off the top of my head, that announced summer dates as well. I'm still waiting for Tiana Taylor's album. I can't wait for that. I think The Internet just dropped. The Internet is R&B band. That's another really good one. I think they just dropped a song called Come Through or Come Over. I should really have it in front of me right now, but I don't. Kind of going off the cuff a little bit, but I was going to play music on this podcast, but that previously got me in trouble the first episode, which pushed the episode back a few days. So I'm not going to do that, but I will make recommendations on here. Speaking of recommendations, I do want to recommend you guys go on Instagram. I have my high school math teacher, Mr. Vasquez, who's doing these funny skits under his, let me look it up. Yes, under his under this Instagram page. I guess this is his alter ego, Mr. Two Thoughts instead of Two Chains. It's Mr. with the number 2 and then Thoughts with a Z instead of an S at the end. That's how he spells it. But the Instagram page is Mr. number 2 Thoughts with an S at the end, obviously. I got about 4 skits on here. They're hilarious. This is believe he taught me algebra. I want to say algebra. High school algebra teacher, Mr. Vasquez out of Roselle, New Jersey. Shout out to Roselle, 908. Roselle, the gorgeous borough. Yeah, this it's some funny skits on there. Check it out. I believe he has a YouTube page as well. This is the new age of teaching, a new brand of teaching, and I'm so for it, man. He was a good teacher. By far, he's up there with like some of the best teachers I've ever had. It's kind of hard to say there's anyone that tops him. I could think of Miss Edwards, Miss Hill, Mr. Campbell, Mr. Campbell, of great teachers that I've had growing up. I had a lot of good teachers. So I want to give a shout out to all of them. Probably not going to hear this. Vasquez might be the only one that listens to this, but they those teachers deserve a shout out. All of Roselle deserves a shout out. So shout out to the hometown. Appreciate y'all. See y'all soon. I think I'll be back in Jersey in August, I want to say. Might be back up there in August. So y'all will see me around by the end of this summer. But moving on, kind of want to get into something that's kind of important to me, especially, once again, having daughters. But this ties into, just parenting altogether to bring it back a little full circle. We had Miss Serena Williams come out and perform again at her first major, I think they're called Grand Slams in tennis, since giving birth. 8 months from giving birth to her daughter, right? I believe she had a girl. Phenomenal. She won. She won her first match at the time that I did this research. No, in all seriousness. She went out and she won, and it set up for a match against Sharapova. She is not running through, but she's performing phenomenally. Only 8 months after giving birth. Serena has gone on to impress us every single time. Every time she's somehow gotten doubted, Serena's come back and done it all over again. I believe, she won three matches so far. I believe Tuesday, then Thursday, and then Saturday. And she's got the match with Sharapova coming this Monday. She's phenomenal, and she doesn't get her credit. And this is truly, truly sad that in this day and age, and after all that she's accomplished, she still has to deal with some of the stuff she said. She had this reporter ask her if she was intimidated by Maria Sharapova's supermodel looks. Really? Really, my guy? And I think these comments were going back to when the rivalry, first started. And I don't know if Maria's ever beaten her, but listen, Serena's been kicking on her ever since. Straight whooping her ever since. And Maria's even got caught with PEDs, I'm sure, trying to keep up with Serena. But this is not to knock Maria Sharapova, because it's not as if, to my knowledge anyway, that she's ever dissed her. This is more to diss the damn reporter who's stupid enough to ask her a stupid question like that. The first guy and the second guy. Well, the second one I know was a guy. I don't know if the first one was a woman or not. But we shouldn't have to deal with this. She shouldn't have to deal with this. And when someone is as great as that, to that level for that amount of time, or even just regular people, but to this subject, like, come on, show her some respect. She's earned it at this point. Like, come on now. Like, it's enough is enough. And to still be body shaming in 2018 is just ridiculous. We know that everyone comes in different shapes and sizes. We know, as the world is opened up through social media and the technology and the internet, that everyone is different. So Serena has a different body type. So what? she's more not masculine. Sorry, she's more muscular than a lot of the other women playing tennis. So, like, why is that a knock on her? Why is that used to disrespect her? If anything, she should be lauded and praised that not only is she that more muscular and she's able to maintain that, and she's able to use it to her advantage. She could have been really strong and brolic. I'm doing air quotes, I can't see it, and she couldn't move around on the court. But her athleticism allows her to still have range to get to either side of the court. You could try and hit it anywhere you want on the court. She's going to go get it, and she's going to return it to you with the oomph behind it. I mean, like, that's just... And I'm not that huge of a tennis guy when it comes to men's tennis. Honestly, I really just watched Serena and her sister, when her sister was, before her health got to her. But that's what I watch, and I just see her, and I watch the other women play, and it's just night and day when Serena's on that court. Now, we do have that young lady as well. That's her name has escaped me. I'm sorry, but those of you who know, and if you don't, just go look it up. It's another African American lady who is killing it as well. And that's, as all athletes get older, there's a new young pup that comes up and is going to try and surpass you. When I believe she's beaten Serena. And but to bring this back to Serena, it's just to bring it back to people in general, like, come on now. The body shaming, enough is enough. Don't get me wrong. When I was a kid, we had jokes, had friends, we made fat jokes. But as you get older, you must evolve. And as the world evolves, you got to get with the program. Like, we can't keep reverting back to these, like, just stupid barbaric ways. Like, just because someone's bigger doesn't mean, as long as that person's healthy, that's all that matters. Just people are shaped different. Some people are just naturally inclined to being bigger. You can work out as much as you want, but you're just going to be a bigger type. You'll never be a slender body. Some people, you're always going to be slender. You're never going to be big, or the term now is thick. So, yes, love yourself. If you want to go about the plastic surgery way, you want to, move fat from here to there. That's a unpopular take of mine, which I may save for another day. As far as plastic surgery and how that goes, I mean, as long as you love yourself and as long as you're healthy, that's really what matters, So if you're just shaped differently, you're just shaped differently at the end of the day, man. That's it's borderline childish to me. I feel like at the end of the day, I was watching Love and Hip Hop with Jen the other day, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and there was a lady on there. I think she sings the Go Best Friend, That's My Best Friend song. Her name is Tokyo, and she was at the table with this other lady. It's a Jamaican artist. Her name is Spice, and the whole time they're having some disagreement over a guy, and she's just making fat jokes about her, and I'm just like, come on, like it's gotten to the point where with comedy and everything, you got to be a little bit more clever. If you really want to take a jab at somebody, at least let it be like clever, interesting, not just, a fat joke. Like, after a while, it's just like, I'm 5'4", 5'5". After a while, you're going to need to come at me with something better than a short joke. After a while, it's just like, do better. Not to say that, that lady, her feelings might have really been hurt, because they might still hurt, and they may still hurt people. Me personally, they don't hurt me, but it's you as the person. If you're going to try and take a shot at me, you're going to have to come correct. And if you're downing other people, everything you have better be on point, if anything. Because in my mind, I feel like even if you got all your stuff together, rather than downing somebody or pointing the finger at somebody, you should be trying to build them up to be like you then. That's just my own personal feeling on it. I didn't mean to go off on too much of a tangent about body shaming, but it's just something that's always really, really bothered me. And I don't know. People just need to go ahead. If they want to eat some waffles and some extra pancakes, let them go ahead and eat their extra pancakes as long as they're happy. But speaking of pancakes, a little bit of a funny story. I'm just laughing at that transition. Jeez, I'll get better at that. I promise, guys. This is a little funny news that I saw that I just wanted to talk about a little bit. Apparently, and this was a big deal to a lot of people, and it was funny to me that it was a little bit of, fake outrage and a little bit of maybe real outrage that IHOP, International House of Pancake, is now changing its name from IHOP to IHOB, and that's with a B. So the P is being flipped upright, and being turned into a B. So International House of Pancakes will now be the International House of Breakfast, I believe, is the change. It was just, I don't know, it was weird seeing it. And it was very weird seeing people get so bent out of shape about it. I like the change. I think that IHOP has been more about breakfast than just pancakes for a long time. There's only so much you can do with pancakes, but it was just an interesting story that I wanted to say. Let me know what y'all think. Hit me up on the Twitter page, Breaking Dads PC on Twitter, on the Facebook page, Breaking Dads Podcast on Facebook. Let me know what you guys think. You can find me on Instagram at elcapitan_NESS. You can find me on Twitter. My Twitter is Mr. Star_IYN. I'll save the explanation for another day, another podcast. But here we are at the end. Thank you all for listening to the Breaking Dads Podcast.